Hi everyone, in this video we want to talk about the difference between only if and if only. Let's get down to it. Only if, which is mostly or only used in conditional clauses. Let's see. We start running only if we hear gunfire in the distance. So we are introducing a condition here only if we hear gunfire in the distance. This sentence has two clauses. The first one, we start running here. This is our main clause. And the second clause, only if we hear gunfire in the distance. This is our conditional clause. Conditional clause. And the first one is our main clause. So we have two clauses, main clause and conditional clause. And in this situation, the main clause only if introduces a condition that must be met for the main clause to be true. It means this condition must happen. This situation must exist only if we hear gunfire in the distance. Only, it means under the condition that we hear gunfire in the distance. Only in that condition, we start running. Do we start running every time? No. Do we want to start running now? Are we running now? No. This only happens. The main condition is only true. The main condition is true when the conditional clause happens. So conditional clause must happen in order to the main clause to be true. We must hear gunfire in the distance in order to start running. Next example. We also can separate only with if. We can put only in the main clause and start the second clause with if. We only start running if we hear gunfire in the distance. So you can see that we separated only if and we put the only in the first clause, which is the main clause, and put if at the beginning of the second clause, which is our conditional clause. Next. Another example. Most students reflect on the teacher's advice. Reflect on means to think about. Reflect on means to think about. Most students reflect on their teacher's advice only if they go to work and run into specific problems. Run into problems means to face, to encounter problems. The main clause. Most students reflect on their teacher's advice. This is our main clause. This is our main clause. And only if they go to work and run into specific problems. This is our condition. And when we say only if, it means the condition must happen in order to the main clause to be true. It means these students must go to work and run into specific problems in order to understand, in order to reflect on the teacher's advice. So the second one happens first. The second condition, the second clause, the conditional clause must happen in order to the main clause to be true. Again, students must go to work, become workers in the future, and run into problems in their workplace until, in order to, they think about, what our teachers have said, and we needed to pay attention to our teacher's advice. So the second clause, conditional clause, must happen in order to the main clause to be true. Next example. You'll lose weight only if you stick to your diet. The second clause is the conditional clause, and the first clause is our main clause. You'll lose weight. This is the main clause, and we want the main clause to happen, to be true. So, what shall we do for the main clause to be true? We shall stick to our diet. You shall stick to your diet. If you want to lose weight, you need to stick to your diet. Only if. So this conditional clause must happen in order to lose weight, in order for the main clause to be true. This must happen. This is a must. This is a must. The only if clause is a must. Is a necessity. It's necessary to happen if we want the main clause to be true. Only if. Now we can put only if at the beginning of the sentence. We have the only if at the beginning of the sentence, and the conditional clause is the first clause, not the second clause. Let's read this example. Only if the movie was a little more narration driven. Narration driven means designed by more narration. It had more narration, the movie, more story maybe. Only if the movie was a little more narration driven. Based on this condition must happen, must have, or had happened. This condition must have happened in order to the main clause to be true. We wouldn't have got bored to tears. Bored to tears means very bored. Yeah, the movie didn't have much of a story, and it wasn't narration driven, and we were bored to tears. And we don't want the main clause to be true. We don't like to get bored to tears. So a conditional clause must happen. The movie, yeah, it's talking about past. Only if the movie. I want to rephrase this sentence for present. If only if this movie is a little more narration-driven, narration-based, we won't get bored to tears. So I want this movie to be a little more narration-driven. This condition to the main clause to be true, so I wouldn't get bored to tears. Now in the past, the movie wasn't narration driven, but only if the movie was a little more narration driven, this was a must, this was a necessity, we wouldn't have got bored to tears. This is the fact, this is the main clause, this is something has happened and we disliked it. Now only if. Now if only, I'm sorry. Now if only. Only if is completely different with if only. These are two different structures as you saw in the previous slides. Only if is used to mention a condition. But if only talks about our wishes when we want to talk about our wishes. You can say I wish, or if only. For example, if only I could see her again. If only I could see her again one more time. This is a wish. And if only is a little stronger than wish. If only my awful behavior was forgotten. I have done something terrible and awful, maybe in a public, maybe in front of people, and I wish my awful behavior to get forgotten. When we use wish and if only, it means we want our situation to be different. We want things to be different. We are not satisfied, or we were not satisfied with the situation that we have or had. And when we want to talk about present, we should use the past tense. If only my awful behavior was. It's talking about present. It's not talking about past. With wish and with if only, you use past tense to talk about present. And as I already said, if only is usually a bit stronger than wish. Another sentence. If you only forgave me for what I did, I wish that you forgive me. I wish that you forgave me. Past tense. This is something that I want. This is my desire that you forgive me. And I use if only to talk about this desire. If only you forgave me for what I did, or maybe what I have done. Next example. When we want to use if only for future, we want to talk about our desires. In the future, we use would. If only they would make peace with each other. If only they would make peace with each other. Maybe they're fighting with each other, quarreling with each other. And this is my desire for them to make peace. To be friendly again. Make peace means be friendly again. To put aside all their differences, their quarrels, and be friendly again. If only pay attention to the would. This would represents that this situation, this sentence is talking about the future. If only the parliament representative would be an outspoken critic of our school's system. This is my desire that our representative, we have a representative in the government system, and I want that person to be outspoken, means be a critic, be our voice, and talk about the school systems and its faults. This is my desire. Only if, and maybe I want to vote for the representative, and I'm talking about the future. So this is something that I want to happen in the future. We use would to talk about the future. And how should we talk about our desires in past when we want to use if only or wish? We use past perfect. We use past perfect. For example, if only I had studied harder. If only I had studied harder when I was at school. If only I had studied harder. I failed my exams, and I need to retake my courses. I need to retake my exams. I'm saying if only I had studied harder. This is about past. I'm talking about past. If only I had studied harder when I was at school. And bear in mind that with if only, you're expressing some kind of annoyance, some kind of dissatisfaction with the situation that you have. If only the criminals of the museum robbery has been arrested sooner. So, based on this sentence, we understand that there was a robbery. Where? Museum. And the criminals are on the loose, are at large. And maybe they are arrested, maybe not. Yes, the sentence tells us that these criminals are arrested, but not soon enough. Maybe they have done more bad things, worse things. Maybe they've done worse things, and they should have been caught sooner, earlier. So if only the criminals of the museums already had been arrested sooner. This is a wish, a desire about past. If only I hadn't lost her phone number. She must be thinking, I'm so rude for not calling her. I lost their phone number. My bad. I'm sorry for that. If only I hadn't done that. This is a wish. A question for you. Can you guess the time of the sentence that I'm going to use? Am I talking about desire in the past, the future, or present? Which one? I wish it would rain. My garden really needs water. My garden really needs some water. I wish it would rain. Now I'm talking about future because I want to rain. I want the weather to be rainy in the future. If only I hadn't got cold feet about immigrating. When you get cold feet, you cannot make your mind and make a decision. If only I hadn't got cold feet about immigrating before the revolution started. There was a revolution maybe in my country, and I wish that I had immigrated before that happened, before that is taught. And this is a wish, this is a desire, referring to past tense. Hadn't got, we use past perfect. And let's do a little quiz. Which one of these sentences starts with only if, and which one starts with if only? First sentence. Titanic hadn't sunk to the bottom of the sea. Well, we don't have any condition here, and this is a wish, this is a desire. So we see, the answer to the first one is if only. It's not introducing any condition. It's a desire because we don't have any conditional clause. The sentence is only made of one clause, a main clause, and there is no condition and main clauses. The second sentence, the woman was rich, she could buy a big house. Well, we have two clauses, and the second clause, she could buy a big house. This woman can buy a big house based on a condition. Only if she is rich, and only if, it means this condition must be true, this condition must exist, this is a must to be rich in order that she could buy a big house. Thank you everyone. This was the difference between only if and if only. Be creative and make a sentence with only if and another sentence with if only, and write that in the comments below. That is how you will learn this grammar, by making your own sentences. And I really like to know how creative you are in making sentences. Thank you for watching us. These grammar lessons are mostly recorded for advanced learners, so examples are a little complicated. I mostly use structures in the examples that I make that are dedicated to advanced and IELTS learners. Thank you everyone for watching.